Hey everybody. Today I thought I'd try something different, and I've had a lot of people ask, and since the DLC's coming up, I figured we would just do a quick run through of how I start Elden Ring. That's getting heals together, getting some upgrade materials, and just generally getting ready for whatever sort of playthrough you want, DLC included. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna pick Samurai. Let's see, fast boys, sure, let's do it. For keepsake, you can choose what you like. I usually go Golden Seed just to get those heals numbered faster and faster. And you can also do the Golden Rune if you want for like a little bit of early runes, but generally the Golden Seed I would suggest to take. So there's a lot of this that might be too thorough for you as well. Let's say, you know, you don't want to get as many golden seeds. You just want to get only upgrade materials, whatever. I'm just taking off gear for no particular reason, just so we can be as quick as possible. But this is typically the start that I use. And then, depending on the run, if I need more or less stuff, I'll add stuff or take away. But we started as Samurai. I'm sure if you're familiar with Elden Ring, it starts with a Uchigatana, which has some good bleed. And that helps with taking out a few of the early bosses or enemies as you fight them. I'm doing this in a totally unedited fashion as if I were live streaming, except I'm not. I'm just here talking to you. So, I guess it would be important if you want to come back, you can get the Erdtree's favor talisman kind of early. You could grab that grace just to make that easier to travel back to later. But as far as just a quick overview of what this run is going to entail, thinking off the top of my head, we're going to run to Torrent. Obviously, that's going to be step number 1. And then we're going to start running around collecting seeds, collecting sacred tears to empower our flasks. And this start could be for, you know, a melee or a caster build. Though I am not going to really go for memory stones, which would be important for a caster. I'll point them out as we go, though. Although I don't make a whole lot of magic builds, so forgive me if I miss out on some. I always grab this here. If you're interested in using Spirit Ash summons, you'll want to go back here. Man, I don't even know what the requirement is, but you come back here after probably leaving Limgrave, and then it making it nighttime. Ronnie will appear. She'll give you the summoning bell, and then you can be on your merry way summoning, well, the wolves they give you or whatever else you want to collect. I picked up the smithing stones there over by Kale. And we'll be doing a couple of other smithing stone pickups. To note, they did add, if you're coming back after a while, they did add a lot of rank 1 and I think some rank 2s smithing stones to merchants. So merchants will have, you know, some pretty good reasons to swing by if you don't normally go out of your way. Let's get past Melina here.
They serve but you. I can turning to aid you. You need to the foot. Then summon me. I bequeath. It will summon Torrent. Treat him with.
We can already upgrade thanks to our golden seed treasure that we took. I slammed Torrent on my bar. And we can get going. If you'd like to pick up all the maps, then of course you'll want to pick up this map here at Gatefront. It can be kind of annoying if you're not super familiar with the overworld and you don't have the maps. I'll skip out on some graces, but you probably want to grab those too if you plan on warping around, doing some farming, you know, depending on how thorough of a playthrough it is. No thanks, Bach. I'll pass. Appreciate it, though. If you're doing this exactly like me, it'll be nighttime, so you'll want to watch out for the cavalry here. If you're doing a bow build, I believe that... That Scarab's got a... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. It's got a bow Ash of War. You can check it if you want, but it's not part of my route. Now, we'll go up here. You can grab a quick gold fowl foot. And that'll be for getting some extra souls off of Grail when we put her to rest later. And at this point, you could split. I'm going now to the Third Church of America, which will get us the Wondrous Physic, which you definitely want early on. It can be very strong. And we'll also be collecting a couple of tiers. My go-to for the Physic that I definitely grab every time. Snag this Grace just in case. We are a bit squishy early on especially, but I do like to... I know it might be a little controversial, but I always come here and I kill Mr. Kenneth Height because he does drop, in fact, a golden seed. I'm sorry, man. Oops. Oh, my.
I am Kenneth Height, and I have seen quite enough.
Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Who's got the R1 power? Oh, it's me. Alright. That was a little risky. I was just R1 spamming, basically. Because you kind of can. I mean, as much as you want to risk it. Huzzah, Golden Seed. It's nice at night. You don't get to see the game at night all that often because every time you die, it sets it to morning, so... It's cool to see the game at night sometimes. And run into all those nighttime bosses you didn't know existed. Here we are, Third Church America. Wondrous Physic, and a Sacred Tear. If you want, you can take a seat here. Depending on if you don't want to use FP flasks at all, you can, oops, go ahead and allocate all to heals. Get extra seed, get an extra Sacred Tear, and if you really want to, go ahead and slap that half HP heal into your Physic. Now we're going to quickly, I know this seems abrupt, because we hit a branch. We could have gone down to Weeping Peninsula first, but I choose to go to Dragon Barrow first, which gets us access to some good powerful items, some chunky souls. Like Radagon's Soar Seal we'll grab, which is 5 to basically the melee stats. Vitality, Strength, Dex. I think Endurance too. Really good though. You do take more damage from it, but especially early game, the value is there. If you run to the right of this gargoyle, he'll just not aggro, which is handy. Yeah, he won't throw stuff at you while you're zooming down the road. Golden Seed. I pretty much always grab Graces, just in case. Sometimes you have little mishaps or bad luck when running past things like the Bridge Dragon that he can slap you a little too hard. And to note, if you would like to, down there at that bridge, we've got the Night Cavalry that drops Bloodhound Step, which was nerfed. It's not quite as strong as it used to be, but it is still very strong. If you're unfamiliar, Bloodhound Step is a weapon art. It's an Ash of War. Sorry, DS3 terms. You can slap it on a weapon, and then L2 is a very generous dodge. I grab all these souls here, these runes. Sorry, I use the terms interchangeably, really. But you get some nice early runes here. And then, if you would like, along with the Bloodhound Step, you can use the Spirit Spring here. Drop down. Oops, I missed the Spirit Spring buff here. But then you can hop up. Plop down the balcony. And you make it up top here, and you can pick up, oh gosh, it's a bit dark on my side. There we are. All the way at the top is a memory stone, so for you FPers, or your spellcasters, that unlocks more spell slots for you. Which is nice that they did that in Elden Ring. They didn't put the old attunement stat requiring you to spend your precious souls, runes, XP, level up points. You don't gotta spend it on a stat just for that purpose anymore. I did say I wasn't going to go out of the way for the memory stone, but hey, it was worth just showing off how to get down there. For whether you wanted the Bloodhound Step or the memory stone. If you kill that Knight Cavalry as well, there is some cheese for him. You can get him to fall off. There's strats on YouTube, or you can fight him straight up, but it would be a tough fight at this level. But he'll give you 50k runes as well, so quick early levels and Bloodhound Step. Next up, we're going to go down to Dragon Barrow over here, or the Fort Feroth, where we can do quite a few things, actually. Boop. Of course, you got Grail here, slumbering, or, well, she's kind of stuck there. You gotta feel bad for her, but maybe killing her is giving her sweet release. And for some reason, her children go with her, but... well. We'll ignore that fact for now. First off, I'm going to run into Fort Feroth. This is definitely a dangerous spot to run through. Very high-level enemies. Easy to get killed, but if you run pretty much like I do here, with some good luck, you'll get through no problem. Sometimes you get poisoned here, and it's annoying. You got to keep popping some heals to stay alive. But we're going to do a couple important things here. We grab Dectus Medallion half. Number 1. And then, like I said, we're going to hop down over here and grab Radagon's Sword Seal. Big power boost right off the bat. I also grabbed this rune right here. There's a rat, be careful. But that rune's 12. It's nice and sizable at this point in the game. Jump across the gap, watch the rats. Well, the game is very dark for me. But anyways, there's a Radagon Sword Seal. And you'll be in combat, so you can either wait to die, or hold Y, press up, lose all your runes, and work back to the grace that we touched. We only had 500 runes. Not a big deal. So if you got through that, and maybe you had some trouble, you were feeling it, like, man, that was rough. That was not... I'm a bit low level. Well, you're in luck, because now we got Grail, and we have a bleed weapon. And that is the perfect combo for a lot of runes. And yes, this does take a while. But thanks to our friend Bleed, thanks to our friend Bleed, there you go. We got percentage damage, so it makes it go a lot faster. If you saw, I slapped the gold pickled fowl foot on our bar here. I think it lasts like a minute, so you've got some grace period, but definitely don't pop it until Grail's at least and her last bit of health that you're going to bleed out. Worst case, if you accidentally bleed her early, just quit attacking, immediately hit Gold Pickle Foulfoot, get that bonus. It gives us bonus runes, just in case that was not clear. So yeah. This is how you're spending your Elden Ring pre-DLC, huh? When you start thinking about levels, early on, I would say Vigor's definitely important to build. I do a lot of melee builds, so I will prioritize strength and dex kind of equally, depending on what weapon I'm going to use, but maybe you're going mage. In any case, any build is kind of endangered if you're not leveling Vigor, so I would focus that first. Also, we do have the rune, the talisman, so I'll slap that on. Again, gives us vitality, endurance, strength, and dexterity, which doesn't help us bleed. That would be arcane, but hey, every little bit counts, right? Feel free to fast forward the video if you like. I'll suffer through this bleed period with you. No pun intended. That's awful. I'm sorry. I think 3 more bleeds with her health right now. If you're a big fan of Elden Ring, you're looking forward to the DLC, I'd like to know, since we've got a little time here, what's your favorite obscure weapon in Elden Ring? I always like to think about weapons that I either never loot, certainly never use, not necessarily because I don't like them, but because maybe I forget they exist. They're hard to get to, they're behind a lot of content. But there's a lot of really cool weapons out there, and I'm always looking to find some unique choices for some runs. So let's see, this last bleed might kill her. I'm gonna doubt, but it's gonna be close. Oh! So she's not dead yet. Wow, this is really close. She might die just from the katana damage. Oh, yep, that's our cue. Pop your foul foot. And where you would normally get, what, 60k runes? 70k? I think it's 70k. Now we got 96k. So. Oh, yes, Melina, yes. She's going to want to send you to the round table hold. You might as well. You're going to have to do it at some point.
I can take gathering. Burn at my hand.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Melly. Don't mind the fact that I'm not wearing any clothes. I'm a real tarnished, I promise. Alright, we'll sit here and level. Again, what you level is totally up to you. But I'm going to get a chunk of vigor. I like to do strength. Maybe a little bit of endurance. But there's a lot of levels, man. That's a lot. Mix between dex. We did add our physic in already, so we're good. So, now we're going to warp back over to Fort Farah. And another thing to talk about is, if you've got a weapon in mind, it could be either a smithing stone weapon or a somber smithing stone weapon. A lot of the popular weapon choices, Rivers of Blood, Moonveil, Bloodhound Fang, weapons like that, are going to be somber weapons, which is good because they're really quick to level up compared to regular smithing stone weapons. And we can grab, let's see, some later smithing stone stuff here. I always grab this stuff. No somber here, but the later game smithing stones get real expensive, so that's a nice way to start. We're going to head past Grail. And we're looking for 2 important pickups. There's definitely a lot of things you could run around Kaled and grab. You know, more opportunities for seeds. There's merchants that sell all sorts of useful things. What I'm going to focus on here is down here. There's a somber smithing stone 8? 9. It's a 9. It's an 8. It's a 9. And the reason that I am not 100% sure is because we're immediately going to go back up here and we're going to grab the other one, the 8, from our nice little scarab friend. My route does not usually take me over to Divine Tower over there, but if you're familiar with it, you can jump over there and grab the Newman rune on the outside kind of climb puzzle spot. And that's good for, I think, 12k runes at the beginning. We don't have a lot of damage, as you can see, but we're just going to knock our scarab friend around. He'll run directly away from you. I kind of let him go too far here. But we just lead him right over to a cliff. Oh, this is not a good spot. Okay, there he goes. And there's our Somber 8. I usually bring him right over here. And then, like, he falls down onto this ledge, hit him a bit more, and he falls. It makes it easier, too, because usually he explodes and is very rude about it. If we were to continue on there, there's a merchant up there who might sell you some smithing stones, but also he sells some other nice items. I believe serpent arrows being the key one there. So if you want some serpent arrows for some poison ranged, you'll want to visit him. And as sad as it is, you can be killing all the merchants to acquire their bell bearings. Which, if you're not familiar with that, bell bearings allow you to turn them in at the round table hold, and you can purchase whatever the merchant had over in the round table hold. So you can have everything in one spot. You can also argue just get the graces next to the merchants and remember forehead, but, you know, having them all in one place is kind of nice. So, I will grab this grace. We will ignore the rot-filled nice woman, grab a sacred tear, and then I'm done here in Kaled. We're going to go back to Gatefront, from whence we came. All the way back to the beginning here. Now I'm going to be doing Weeping Peninsula run through, which, if you don't feel like you want extra heals, extra sacred tears, or some decent wondrous physic flask tears, then you may skip. But there are a lot of really good things down in Weeping Peninsula. I will also be grabbing my lantern in case I want to go cave diving, which I'm sure there will be plenty of dark spaces in the DLC. In addition, a popular weapon to use, whether it just be at the beginning or for an entire build, is the Bloodhound Fang, and we will be running right past that. On our way to Weeping. I believe it's Great Axe in here if you want to stop the procession and grab an item. If you're doing dragon incantations, you'll probably want to take out Agiel over there in the middle of the lake, as he'll drop a dragon heart for you and I think unlock a spell. Now where? Okay, it's down further here. I'll grab this grace. This grace is also convenient for the Bloodhound Knight Darrawil fight right up there where all those eyeballs are. Whatever, the stone worms. But I won't kill him here. He's relatively quick kill. Even with an unupgraded katana just because he bleeds, but he's a tricky one, so totally get if you want to get it a bit stronger before you fight him. I believe this is a stone sword key. Oh, I lied. This is the stone sword key, which is good if you need any items behind blocks, you know. One that I plan on getting for one of my builds. I'm making 3 builds for the DLC. And my Magic Knight build is going to be using 2-handed greatsword weapons. However, I do want to grab Saint Trina's sword over in Caelid, which is behind a stone sword key lock. So it's definitely worth grabbing. I think we got some smithing stones here. Oh, there you go, smithing stone 2, which is nice. Nice to find early on. This is another bow Ash of War. I don't remember what they are. My brain can store information in a very certain way. And all I know is that it's a bow. Alright. Well, Grace here. Couple of things. Take this spring up. If you like stamina and shields on your back, then you can grab the turtle shell here. Turtle shield. And if you're a mage person, over in that tower, you complete the little turtle puzzle, and you'll get a memory stone for more spell capacity. Merchant here, worth a check just to see. He does sell kukri, and kukri are, wait, doesn't he? Yeah, he does, okay. And those are very good for just kind of, if you're doing a bleed build and you have to really get away from an enemy, a kukri is a nice way to keep the bleed building up from a distance. And they're actually pretty solid damage too. I wasn't going to get it, but if you want map for Weeping Peninsula, it's right down this road. Let's ignore the golem. He's not a very good shot. As long as you're straying to the side. Golden seed here. Okay, well, that's just because I, you know, was down talking his aim. If you'd like to continue into Castle Morn over there, a couple of cool pickups. There's the Claymore or the Baymore. And if you want to, go defeat the Leonine Misbegotten fight at the very end of that castle. You can get the Grafted Blade Greatsword, which is a nice, big, meaty weapon. With a really good Ash of War, actually. The Oath of Vengeance gives you 5 to all stats temporarily. Now, I didn't used to do this one, but it's a nice quick grab. If we run up here, we reach this frenzy town. A lot of rude people and rude rats up here, but it gets us a quick Flame of Frenzy spell and the Sacred Tear, which is, well, the reason I come up here. Then we'll head back down. Usually I'm combat locked for a lot of this running, otherwise I would just warp back to the graces that we've already grabbed. For example, now I would warp over here, but we've already done most of the running, so I just continue the run. If you'd like me to slow down because you're following along and I might be going a little bit too fast, well, feel free to pause the video. Sorry, dumb joke. If you'd like to for safety, there's a grace up here. Actually, it also is not bad because it's a decent position for hopping down into the valley where there's a couple of... there's a dungeon, there's a fight against one of the demi-humans. You can get, I think one of the avatar staves? Maybe the rotten staff? Excuse me. But otherwise, we're hopping over. We're doing a pretty hefty Sacred Tear run here. America Church here. Well, I suppose it's not America Churches. But hey. Oh, it's a Radagon Church. Well, that's interesting. Didn't really think about that before. But we're grabbing the Sacred Tier. That's what I'm here for. Now, I won't go here on this this run through, but if you head to that Erdtree and defeat it, it's one of the earliest and easiest Erdtree avatars. You get the 2 tiers that I just can't seem to not use. You get the Opaline Bubble tier, which gives you a bubble absorbing 90% or so of the next attack damage. Huge for level 1 builds. Great just in general for absorbing hits, especially in fights that deal a lot of damage, like Fire Giant or any later game fight. And then the other tier that you get is the, I believe it's called Crimson Burst, which is the heal over time. And it's a small heal over time, yes, but I really like it because it lasts 3 minutes, just like the bubble tier, and over the course of a long fight, that's a lot of healing. And as you'll see later, we're going to pick up the Ritual Sword Talisman, which is a talisman that only works when you're at full health. And if you get hit with your bubble on, you're going to be missing just a little bit of health. And it does a really good job of just topping you off to get back into that damage, that health requirement to activate the Ritual Sword Talisman. I did not mention it, but we picked up another Sacred Tier over at that church. And then here, our friendly little merchant has our lantern. This is where I pretty much always buy my lantern. He's got smithing stone 2s. He's got stone sword keys. So things to help you get on your way, get on your journey. And if you don't have any runes right now and you're like, oh, I don't want to pop, like a huge rune just for this, there is a small little sarcophagus garden. I don't know what to call it. An outcropping, a commiseration of sarcophagi. And you can grab some quick runes here if you just need something to buy that lantern or whatever. All right. Now, again, this Erdtree for those 2 tiers I was talking about. And that's going to do it for my run through here. At this point, I head back to Gatefront and we start heading towards Stormvale Castle. However, I'll be doing my extended run through here, which involves bypassing Stormvale altogether in favor of collection over in Liurnia. Golden seed here. And we've hardly killed a thing at this point. And let's see if we upgrade our flasks. Yeah. So we've got 7 flasks already at +5, which is probably like almost all of our health. Stone Sword Key for more locks. Again, feel free to do more or less of what I'm doing. Whatever suits your needs. That is 3 smithing stone 1s right there. Solid pickup. And then for more upgrade materials, we are swinging down just over here past this lake. There's a statue we're going to need our giant friend here to break open for us. So I just run in front of him to aggro him. And then you can just stand on the opposite side of the statue. Even his running breaks it. Hui! 5 smithing stone ones. So we've collected quite a few of those at this point. Please don't spew at me. We're gonna head north here. That quickly grabs us this War Master Shack Grace here. I'm just gonna rest to get out of combat. Boy. There's a lot of things in this vicinity. I believe the strength tier for your physic is right up here. And also, if we head this way, we can find us another merchant. If you don't have it because you started as a different build, the Uchigatana is in the catacombs here. Merchant's right here. And there's also a boatman with, behind a stone sword key, there's a little underground spot that has the stamina regeneration talisman. So that could be super worth to grab. But yeah, that's a quick overview there. I'm going to head back to Stormhill Shack, and we're going to say goodbye to Margit, because we're just going to run past him. At this point, you would be pretty well to start doing, say, Margit and Stormvale. You're in pretty good shape to start playing the game at this point. You would need to go back to the Round Table Hold, of course, and maybe you'd need to fill in a few more stones. Let's see. Nope, we've got 13. So at this point, we could have a +4 weapon already. Regular upgrade weapon. This is not important, but I take it anyways. Oh, one other thing I was going to mention. Back at the War Master Shack, if you like crafting bleed resins or something similar, and you like to, you want to farm for that, you need a lot of the tree root resin. And this spot right here, you spawn and you run just here. There's like 2 or 3 pickups, and then you go and you sit back at the Grace, and it's a great farm for your tree root resin. Crafting, I know, right? Using regular buffable weapons. Although the Bloodhound Fang is also buffable, so if you want a weapon that's really good, that has bleed, and you can put bleed resin on it, whoo-wee, that Bloodhound Fang, that'll do you real well. That is assuming that bosses bleed in the DLC. We'll see, right? There's a branching path here. You could drop down and start heading up the eastern cliffs of Liurnia, but we got some nice things this way. For you magicians, we got Pops here that's got a few spells. Sacred Tier. It's also a spell book. And these graves over here, if I recall correctly. Academy Scroll, yes. For all you glint stoners out there. You can run through this camp. I think there's like a golden rune or something. Along with, glintstone crafting. Oh, nope, there's no golden rune. I lied. Don't do that. That's what not to do. So we're going to do Liurnia here in a flash. We are going to, first of all, collect map. At least one of the maps. We're going to get access to Rhea Lucaria Academy. Oops, I think I passed the map. Oh, it's right there. Don't you know where you're going, son? Yeah, sort of. Yeah, more or less. I just follow these runes as a visual cue. You're going to look out for a Grace around here. There it is. Whoop. All right. And then right up here, we're going to get a teleporter. And I want to say this is smithing stones here. Ah, smithing stone 3. So yeah, making progress there. Don't mind the scary sounds of a revenant over here. You just teleport away and you'll be good. This is going to take us right to the gates of Raya Lucaria, which, of course, we cannot access just yet. But very quickly we will be able to. So this is a tricky jump here. You could do this, or you can go around. But the way that I typically do this jump is I walk pretty much all the way to this tree, and then we're going to do a delayed double jump. Ready? Oh, wow. Yeah. We're going to go to this tree. We're going to jump, delay, and aim for this little... Ooh. Yeah, that do happen. That do happen. But there's a little, like, elbow on this rock that I do. Of course, this isn't super important. There. You just make sure you land. And then hop down here. Here's a nice little rune storage facility. Why they use sarcophagi to store their runes, I don't know. I don't know. What were they thinking? There's a magic flower. Everybody loves magic flowers. But luckily we got some levels, so we're not getting absolutely demolished by these things just yet. A lot of runes. Oh no, poison. Yeah. Some of them aren't worth grabbing, right? They're just rune ones, but it all adds up. Just be sure to monitor your health while you're doing this. Grab some smithing stones here. 3 smithing stone tubes. And we're kind of going to follow this, not the cliff face, but we're going to stick in between the cliff and these buildings, these ruins. And we'll grab a grace soon so we can get rid of this poison and not have to worry about it. All right, as we emerge from these trees, we spot our rune. Take a seat, clear that poison that you might have acquired. And our friend Glintstone Dragon is over here, but if we're quick, he won't even know. He won't even know that we stopped by. We're going to grab the Glintstone key to gain access to Raya Lucaria. He might stand up, but, you know, must have been the wind. Now, picking up the kukri here is actually really good, and you'll see why in just a minute. See, he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. But we grab those kukri. I'll slap them on the bar. And we keep heading pretty straight north. There's another grace here for safety. Huzzah. And we got 2 nice rune sources here. First off, another sarcophagus garden. Oh yeah, these are some nice fresh sarcophagi. Oh yes, sarcophagus. This one's kind of a pain because they're gonna shoot these slow homing pain balls at you. Don't mind them. Just heal if you need to. Keep looting. Keep getting richer. Look at all this. All these stonks. But look, I mean, overall it's not that much damage. If you're really in trouble, just run away. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Except I kind of did. So if you really want to, there is a grace up here in this island right above my head. But what we're going to do is, you may not have known this, but the balloons, if you kukri them or use anything, a bow or whatever, Every one of these you destroy like this will drop a golden rune 6. So the Kukri have a really good travel distance. And luckily we only need 5. I used one of our 6. And now I have exactly enough. Boop. Mm-hmm. Don't even worry about those marionettes falling down. They got more important things to worry about. So that's a good use for our Kukri. Heading over here, we're going to get a Grace and another map. There's Grace. Here's map. Here's map. And there's still a map missing. It's over in front of Raya Lucaria proper. But if you want to, you can just go grab that. We're going to run through these King's Realm ruins. And if you're using a somber weapon, you're going to want to pay attention because our friend Iji-san he's a good guy. You'll need quite a few runes. Not like a ton, but... Zoom. If you have yet to upgrade your somber weapon, you're in luck.
I am an old codger.
Because this old codger sells 1, 2, 3, 4. So boom, that's a +4 somber stone weapon. And this is totally optional for another quick little rune dump. But there is a group of them over here to pick up. Which, of course, the later in the game you find these, the higher the rune values are going to be. Granted, that Dragon Barrel one was some pretty high value runes. Bunch of 3s and 4s, and Torrent being a pain in the butt. Look at that, a 5. Nice. Okay. You may have forgotten already, but we did pick up the glintstone key for Raya Lucaria. And we're gonna use that now. I'm just getting out of combat. Looks like we're out. Oh. But we're going to warp to South Raya Lucaria Gate, where we jumped and definitely didn't die earlier. Yeah. And now we can use that key to warp. That's just a note that tells us about the key right there, by the way, so no need to pick it up. Couple of things here in Raya. I'm not going to go into the academy proper. If you head this way, you'll find a merchant. He's going to have his own sets of things that are nice. We can touch this Grace. And when we're ready, come back and fight Renala. And we can go grab a golden seed. Right over yonder. Okay. There's not too much more in our prep run. And of course, there is a lot that you could grab on the way as well. But this is still going to be pretty thorough. So we're going to use this seal, and we can actually warp to where this would take you for one of the entrances back and forth portals that would bring you to Raya Lucaria in the first place. And now we're up here at Bellum Highway. A couple of things to note. I will not right now, however, there's a spirit spring. I'll show you the spirit spring because it's kind of tricky. But if you want Bell bearings for smithing stone, regular smithing stone. Very important. We're gonna jump down here, thanks to the spirit spring. Swoosh. And you're gonna go to this cave and clear out the Crystallian boss there. That will drop you the bell bearing for smithing stones 1 and 2. So very, very good for, of course, getting your weapons upgraded. You'll probably want to bring a blunt weapon or something that's pure physical. The Bloodhound Fang would do just fine because that boss won't bleed, and he won't take very much damage until you stagger him. So jump attacks, charge R2s, those sorts of things will get him staggered real quick. Over here, another Church of America. Or Radiga. They're the same person, damn it. Is that spoilers at this point? That might be spoilers. But if you're here setting up a character and this is your first time, well, you don't know how Radagon is America. Here's some rune arcs if you really want those. Nifty shield, but I'm not going to grab any of that. And then we're going to run down here just to get a golden seed. So if you're prepping this character, again, for DLC, there are 2 requirements for entering the DLC. Close your ears and open them in 20 seconds if you do not want spoilers. You must kill Radon, and you must kill Moog. You can access Moog early by doing Vare's questline in Liurnia, and we will be quickly unlocking Radon for battle. So you can hit him up both really quickly if you'd like. Of course, maybe you want to be a little stronger for the former boss. I'm just going to sit here so we get out of combat, and we're going to warp somewhere you least expect. Down over here, Mistwood Outskirts. And that's because we still need the other half of our Dectus medallion. Into the Mistwoods we go, surrounded by bears and bear poop. But don't let that scare you. If you run right, they'll never know you were even here. But if you steal their items, they will. Sorry, man. Map here. Ta-da. Shifra is down here, of course. Oh, yeah. Oh, don't worry, man. I didn't mean to steal your cookbook. I didn't know bears were into cooking. But you can follow the road here. If you stick to the left, keep an eye out for the fire. You'll find a merchant. You'll hear our boy Blythe over there. But sticking to the left. Where's the fire? There it is. You'll find our merchant. Oops. Ah, sorry, mate. Wrong store. Nothing personal. And a nice little trinket to grab at the ruins here. There's a sleeping bear, and right next to him, stairs down, you can grab the Axe Talisman, which empowers your charged R2 attacks. So if you get that boss to stagger, or they just finished something and there's a long opening, nice big meaty charged R2 will get you some good distance towards a stun or just damage in general. I grabbed this for safety. And into Fort Height. What happened to the guy that owns this fort anyways? I don't know. Who knows? We're gonna grab Golden Seed. Another. We're just gonna you know, jump past these guys. If you want bleed resins, this is your time. Grab you some blood rose. Hello. Grab you some more blood rose. And you'll need this cookbook. Boop. There you go. Now, along with the root resin farm that I mentioned earlier, you'll have everything you need to craft some bleed resin. If you kill this knight here, he drops Bloody Slash, which is an Ash of War, which you can apply bleed to a regular weapon, but also the enemies here will stop spawning, and then you can go grab the naturally growing blood rose to your heart's content. So with that spot and the root resin spot near the War Master's shack. Please don't hurt me, sir. Sir. All right, we got out of combat, so we're gonna warp. He doesn't know we're there. He doesn't know what happened. But yes, farming blood rose in Fort Height, farming root resin at War Master's shack, and getting that cookbook will get you plenty of bleed resin. Just figured I'd show this off. Another little sarcophagus garden, and there is even another one. If you hop up, there's a spirit spring just to the right over there. You take that, hop up, and this is more graves right here. More. They're small runes, so they wouldn't give you a whole lot at this point, but nice things to top off your rune count. So, now that we've got the full Dectus medallion, we are off to Bellum Church, where we are going to ride the correct way, yes. North. I will not be going here as part of this collection setup, but for those of you who might be wanting to do Vare's quest line in order to get to Moog early, you will want to probably head to the Frenzy Village. That is up here. The map's confusing. It's up here. You go to the right from this lift and climb up instead of continuing like we're going to do. There is an item for the quest. Up there, the maiden's blood-soaked cloth. There additionally is another sacred tier for even more powerful heals. But there's also Vike invading. And a frenzy tower. So, enter the Frenzy Village at your own risk. Okay, and again, we are almost done here. Just a couple more pickups left. But with our activating the lift here, heading up to Altus Plateau, that will cause Radon to become active. So if you go to his arena now, it's Radon and not the other fight that shows up there. And, yeah, there's a couple important things we'll grab here as well. Continue empowering our heals. If you are a melee build, I really like to use the Ritual Sword Talisman, which buffs your attack if you are at full health. The mini-boss of these ruins over here, Demi-Human Queen, one of the M's. She's right down in those stairs. There's some stairs down. Fight her, kill her, with a bleed weapon especially, just pressure her, and she'll explode. Get the Ritual Sword Talisman, and you'll be all set. But additionally, grab this golden seed. And now we can head back to our start point in Altus. kind of start point, whatever. Our first grace we touched. And we're going to follow this road for a couple of reasons. Look at that scenery. Gorgeous. Even if it is filled with horrible, horrible monsters that all want to kill you. Well, we're not going to let that happen, are we? No, sirree, Bob. We're going to run up here. We're going to grab a grace. You'll want to grab this one because we're going to branch off and then come back. Of course, feel free to wear as much armor as you want while doing this. Golden seed. You don't have to be buck naked like I am. Here. Right along the road here, we're going to have map. Boop. And then following the road, we're going to have another merchant. More beautiful scenery, of course. Yeah, birds. Take it all in. Take in that view. Skip the foot, Grandma. Here's our merchant and a grace. Grab it if you want. See what he's got. Listen to his beautiful music. Take a nice break by the fire. All right. All right. He's got some stone sword keys. Perfect. Got some shield options for you. Arrows if you need them. Whatever. Kill him for his bell bearing if you want. Or not. Remember this grace if you want to come back. And we're going to teleport across Altus. If you are doing a gold mask for his quest, he's going to be right there. We're going to head down here to the right. And under this bridge, we got a grace. Now, if you want even a super extension of this route, you can take this path all the way over to Mount Gelmir. And there's going to be, there's a golden seed. You can get to Volcano Manor, the front side. There's the Falling Star Beast if you really want. There's also the Hero Grave that's got the ringed finger. There's a plethora of things, but not as much stuff for a beginner build that I would go for. So instead, we're just going to hop down here. We're going to grab another quick golden seed. It should be right here. Ta-da! And now we can go back to that initial grace over by the entrance to Lanedale Castle. Perhaps that single golden seed wasn't value for you. You could cut that out of your route. However, this coming up is very valuable. You'll definitely want to do this just for some quick heals, but also for some smithing stone purchases. Run past all these bros, mostly running straight, you'll be fine. Most of the time. And then, of course, running past the tree sentinels, who are wont to stop you. But, you know, Jerry and Liam aren't the best gate guards. So, You just wander over to this grace, and now they'll kind of quickly forget that you exist. If they happen to make it here, you can just rest at the grace. But they don't get paid enough to chase you all the way over here. 2 golden seeds from this tree here. A map. And then we're going to go grab our smithing stone bell bearing 2. A very worthy pickup and very easy pickup too. So with the bell bearing I mentioned earlier from fighting the Crystalian near the Bellum Church, and with this bell bearing here, that allows you to buy smithing stones 1 through 4, a quick level 12 normal weapon, and what I am not including in this is getting much further past the +4 somber weapon. However, if you want to go that route, your best bet is heading into Raya Lucaria, get grabbed by the Virgin Abductor, and there is a quick Somber 5 and 6 before Godskin Noble there, if you manage to defeat him, or if you do the really tricky skip. There's a Somber 7 as well, and that would complete your collection going all the way to Somber 8, 9. And you would have a +9 weapon without even fighting any bosses. I'm sure there's been plenty of videos on things like that. So we've got the Smithing Stone Miner's bell bearing. We don't need to be here anymore. So we'll go reset combat. Unfortunately, can't warp unless the boss is dead. So we gotta step outside. Make sure we don't aggro something else on the way out. And back to this Grace right behind Jerry and Liam. I give them different names every time, so I'm surprised I remember them this time. From here, we will follow the main road, ignoring any gargoyles that cross our path. Just for any reason at all, you know. Yeah, well, there's one right now. Perfect. I just ignore him. And right up here, we got another 2 golden seeds. Boom, boom, boom. Follow the road. Ignore any perhaps possibly reappearing bosses or illusions there forth.
I see thee, little tarnished.
Yeah.
Smoldering with that wretched flame of ambition.
I'm sure you do. Safety Grace if you would like. Though there's not too much to fight on our final destination up here. And this bit's totally optional. This is just kind of saving time for heading back here later when you're ready to go into Lanedale. But there's a merchant up here with a Grace, and we're just gonna reach out and touch Grace. What you got, buddy?
Is accustomed well.
Yeah, he does have that Sentry's Torch, which allows you to see invisible enemies. Who knows if that's going to be useful for the DLC. Perfume bottles, things like that. Bunch of arrows. Some gear. And with that, let's upgrade our flask. So there we are. We have 10 plus 7 flasks. Red or blue, your choice. And if we head to the husks, turn in our... Oh, I didn't get the first one because I didn't actually go do it, you know. But now you can buy 3 and 4 and also 1 and 2. If you happen to miss Ronnie before, now you can buy the Spirit Calling Bell because once you progress far enough, she won't show up there. It's probably Liurnia or maybe Altus, but that shows up here. And then also the... oh, I suppose the Whetstone is not here quite yet, but yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it. That's my really quick startup. You could have a Uchi plus 12. You could have a Bloodhound Fang plus 4 at this point. You can have a bunch of levels, a bunch of runes to do what you want, and go and smash Margit and investigate Stormvale and go from there. And you could have... you've got access to everywhere you need to in order to do Vari's quest, to reach Moog. Radon is active. And yeah, what you do from there is up to you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a bit lengthy, but we did a thorough run. And enjoy Shadow of the Erdtree. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.